Greetings, sailors, and welcome back to World of Warships, but also welcome to 2023. And I guess a happy new year and happy holidays and all that is applicable. Although it's not going to be a new year for quite everybody, because not everybody uses the Gregorian calendar to figure out these things. So, yeah, Chinese New Year is, I think, a little bit later, and I can't even remember if... I think the Orthodox New Year falls on a different date, I seem to remember. Anyway, that's by the by. That's nothing to do with warships. That's just my brain wandering off in random directions, as it likes to do. So, I thought I would just jump in and play the Atlantico a bit, because I find that reasonably fun to play. Although, having played a bit today already, it's been rather tempered by some ugly encounters with submarines. So, fingers crossed that that's not going to be the case this time, but it probably will be. Yeah, there we go. We're top tier at least, but one sub and one carrier per team. Atlantico at least has decent AA, but of course Kaga has many planes, so that sort of cancels out having decent AA. Really. We do also have... that's a test ship, isn't it? The Nebraska? That's going to be one of those hybrids. Yeah, that's a semi-flat top. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are still in testing. I've been playing a bit over the holidays. I'm probably quite behind on... like news and whatever. There's been a bit of a gap while we have not done the podcast, so I've not really been keeping up with the news, but I'm vaguely aware those are being tested. It's a bit of an odd-looking thing. So yeah, there's been that. There's been, I think, some new super ships being tested. I can't even remember what else. I have vaguely glanced at the blog. We're going to have to try and get the podcast going again. Although, as some of you are aware, well, I would think most of you that are watching this by this point, there's been some sort of heavy family health stuff going on. But we're kind of past the initial phases of that, and now more into the figuring out what comes next phases. So, yeah, hopefully I can get back to being a little bit more regular with making stuff. I've also, I've been trying to figure out if there's some way I can do this for the, like, get stuff in for the channel somehow with this, but by far my most pricey present, I guess I could put it that way, is the Steam Deck. Which was a very awesome present from my mum and her partner. And yeah, I have no way of recording stuff from the Steam Deck, but I have been trying out playing different games on it. Haven't tried Warships yet, although given that you can play Warships through Steam, I wouldn't see why not. There are some games that it will just go, nope, you can't play that on Steam because reasons. I've actually been quite impressed with how many games it does list at this point as to, like, you know, what issues there might be. But obviously anything that's got native controller support as a PC game is usually going to be fine. So I've tried out a little bit of Skyrim. I did have a brief go at Kerbal Space Program, but figured out very quickly that actually trying to do anything with the rockets was going to be excessively difficult with controllers. I don't know how people playing Kerbal on a console do it. I really don't. I've seen videos of PC Kerbal players attempting to have a go at the console version and having a rough time of it, and I can kind of see why. Although with the Steam Deck, at least, I think it's theoretically possible that I could put on mods like MechJeb if I could figure out how. But yeah, overall though, the Steam Deck has been quite impressive so far. It's not got the best battery life, but considering what it is, that's kind of not that surprising in the form factor it has. And it does also matter quite a lot what game you're playing on it. So if something like Crusader Kings 2, for instance, I can get a good few hours playtime out of that, but like Skyrim or Witcher 3 or something a bit more graphically intensive is going to drain the battery rather quicker. It is an impressive bit of kit though, it really is. Yeah, even if I don't do gameplay things on it, maybe I... Mind you, having said, maybe I could do some kind of, you know, gameplay experience video of me just, like, how I've been finding it playing on it, but I don't really have any good way of recording video of me even just sitting and talking about stuff, because my webcam is... I mean, my webcam is probably actually good enough, but I don't have a good setup in terms of, like, being able to do a background that isn't just my messy living room. So, yeah. Anyway, the sub is down here, but I'm not the only person that's tackling it, which is preferable to the previous games I played today. Was actually in the Mutsu, and was forced into a situation where it was just me and the sub, and I was just boned. Like, there was literally nothing I can do. Our destroyers had... like, that's the kind of situation where you're utterly forced to rely on teammates, and I couldn't rely on my teammates in that situation, and so therefore I was just screwed. I could have, you know, just quite, you know, for as much good as I was going to do at that point, I could have just quit back to port, to be quite honest, which is not fantastic game design, but, you know, Wargaming apparently doesn't care about that anymore. At least I've got 2 drops, like the Mutsu, which only had 1, and obviously far shorter range. Right, I'm actually going to take advantage of my sneakiness to make a turn here. That's one of the reasons I like this ship. It's reasonably sturdy. It's not the fastest, but you do have the stealth to get away with doing things like this sometimes. Probably a bit risky firing there. The Lenin does have a decent turret traverse, but that is... There we go. Too tempting a target to pass up, really. Yeah, that Lenin's not looking happy now. Right, Senyang, what are you doing with this? I think a slightly dangerous game with that Wichita there, because I'm pretty sure Wichita has Hydra, although the Wichita is not going for it. Oh, but they are spotted. They're either hydroed or radared. Does Wichita have radar? Honestly, can't remember. There's enough premium US cruisers at this point that it's sort of difficult to keep track of who has radar and who doesn't. Because they don't all. You know, once upon a time, it was my experience of talking to wargaming devs, and they'd be like, oh, we want to keep things consistent, and then that's all sort of gone out the window, really. I guess the tech trees, in terms of the branches, are sort of somewhat consistent, but yeah, then you take premiums into account, and all bets are off, really. There's a lightning around somewhere as well, and that salmon. It's possibly a joke there to be made about Douglas Adams' unfinished book, The Salmon of Doubt. But, you know, maybe I'll come up with something for the title, or maybe not, who knows. Maybe the title will just be Submarines! Bah! Right, I see you, Kaga. With your many, many planes. Disadvantage of being rather slow. You're going for me, or you're going for the Bismarck? Going for the Bismarck, okay. Wichita's dead. I think the Roma and the Massachusetts are both looking at me. Oh, hello. Where are you pinging me from?
Aguardando instruções. Câmbio.
Backwards or forwards? I guess we'll soon see.
Avião.
He's dead. And hello, the torpedoes.
Torpedos bem à frente.
Yeah. This is fine. I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun.
Câmbio. Avião.
So much fun.
Detectamos submarino inimigo. Torpedos à frente.
Aguardando
Torpedos bem à
instruções.
frente.
Still gonna take 2 of those, because of course I am. Well, at least I got to kill him.
Inimigo destruído.
Yeah, that was not a fun encounter. But nothing about submarines is fun, really, in terms of facing them. I'm sure there are people who are playing them that are having fun, but that still doesn't make them good game design, not by any stretch of the imagination. Not even a little bit. Anyway, I think we've won this one. We're actually very slightly behind on points, but yeah, what's left of them is pretty scattered. I think I can more effectively evade a lightning than I can something with homing torpedoes, because, yeah, it literally took giving them such a BS thing as homing torpedoes to make them work in the game even slightly, apparently. Right, who are you going for? Irian or me? Was that a Dalian? No, it's an Irian. Is the Dalian the tier 9? I can't remember. Can't even remember if that's the premium one. Right, might as well use heal. I've used one. This is my second heal I've used, and I'm getting so little back just because I've been. I mean, the first hit was the cargo torp bombers, which of course were all heavy damage, and the rest was all the wanker in the submarine. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah, it's no wonder I'm playing a bit less of World of Warships. I'm definitely behind in terms of the dockyard stuff, but it's like I just, generally speaking, can't be bothered to play more than a couple of battles per day, and you can only do some of the requirements in operations. Like, there's no way to go through the whole grind playing ops. You can go through the whole grind playing co-op, but the rewards for XP and stuff like that in co-op are so pitifully small that you would have to spend a very, very long time. Right, it'd be nice to get some spotting on this lightning. There we go. Trying to take some evasive action. Oh, never mind, just took one. But hey, at least they weren't homing torpedoes. Right, we can, in theory, get my last heal going. I just need to hold fire for a little bit. Also, I really hope this lightning doesn't set me on fire.
Problema resolvido, senhor.
Oh, he's dead anyway, that's fine. But I've taken a real battering in this one, and it's only like, it's not even 750,000 tanked damage, because it's just been torpedoes all the way pretty much. Well, that's been the majority of it. Oh well, I'm still alive and we've won, but yeah. That sub encounter, like, even like the carrier alone would have been a bit there because it's, you know, cargo. can spam the planes at you. But yeah, just subs plus CV. It's just the worst. Actually, no, the very worst would be a tier 10 sub plus super CV. I think this Roma might be feeling a little bit persecuted right now. There he goes. So, an okay amount of damage, but I didn't get to use my secondaries very much in that one. Yeah. Their Megami must have been wiped out almost instantly for a score like that. Apparently their lightning, well, I'm actually not that surprised if they managed to stick around to that point. I wasn't even paying attention to the Nebraska. Maybe they got a bit focused because they were in a hideous, weird-looking hybrid. That silhouette is something else. It looks like it's going the wrong way because the back of the ship's higher than the... Anyway. Shall I play another one in the Atlantico, or shall I do something else? I might do something else. So, having played a fun tier 8, I'm now going to play an unfun tier 8. Again, solid tier 8 matchmaking. This time it's 2 subs. Having to deal with a CV alone would actually have been preferable, just because the Kansas has got a defensive it can use, which is not terrible. I mean, it's not going to save you from a drop, but it will make you spiky enough to deter a CV from coming near you. But no, instead we have subs to deal with, so that'll be fun. In my slow-ass battle barge. Slow in all regards, because it doesn't have either a particularly good surface speed or a particularly good reload. Yeah, even if you take quite a lot of damage with Adrenaline Rush, I don't think you can get down to 30 seconds or even close. It's like 35, 36 seconds, something like that. I don't know, someone will probably pop up in the comments and go, well, actually, Jedi. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, a way to get my viewers to do my fact-checking for me. It's just say something that's so egregiously wrong that they immediately rush to their keyboards and start furiously typing away. Anyway, what are we actually facing off against? Kagero and an Erland will both be actually potentially very tricky in their own ways. But we do have a Cossack, which is an excellent counter DD. But then, of course, we have submarines in the mix as well, so who knows? As if there wasn't enough for our destroyers to do already. Now they have to be dealing with subs, because it's not like subs deal with other subs all that well. I mean, they can do, but you have to screw up a fair bit to get taken out by another submarine. Anyway, there's the Harlem. I have to remember, these are very slow shells. Oh, I clicked 3 times, but I've fired all 4 turrets. Sometimes it does that. It'll fire more than 1 turret, even if you're trying to only fire 1 at a time, and not double-clicking. Because reasons. At least I got 1 hit, I suppose. Right, there's the Kagero, there's the Richelieu, Massachusetts up there. I must resist the urge to run in face first, because you do have the range at least in this thing, and with the reload it has, you really do need that range. But of course, the problem is, the more at range you're firing with slow velocity shells, the much more easy it is for enemies to evade said shells. So it's a mixed blessing at best. Doesn't look like we've got anyone... Oh, hello, Massachusetts is going there, are they? Okay. And again, that was separate clicks. Trying to spread them out a little more than that. Yeah, that wasn't quite enough lead, was it? I needed a little bit more. Right, and there is the Edinburgh. Let's stick with the Massachusetts for now. I don't think we know where any of their destroyers are. Ooh, the Harlem's a bit tempting. Not destroyers, subs. Oh, he's vanished. They've all vanished. Like an old oak table. Which, yeah, I was hanging out with some friends earlier and making random Blackadder references as well, and it wasn't even particularly relevant to the discussion. It's just my brain decided that I needed to mention Blackadder. Oh, this turret traverse, are we going to get this in time? Yes, there we go. Right, I think we actually can push this a bit. It looks like
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
a lot of their... Oh, yeah, that's their sub is here, isn't there?
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Okay. That cluster of torps.
Direct front.
If they're not pinging, if they're just blind firing, then basically you have no idea as to their range. So I've seen canny players do that, unless they get close enough to get spotted in Hydro, of course.
Airborne! Airborne!
Right, well, let's hope our Cossack can give you the love. We'll get at least one of their subs out of the way, that would be very welcome.
The ship is on fire.
Alright, that's only one lot of Kagero torps.
Awaiting instructions!
I am a bit tempted to push into that, but then of course I'd be giving a lovely broadside to the Richelieu, potentially. But yeah, this Kagero is well overcommitted. Oh, hello, I wasn't actually expecting you to... I was thinking the Richelieu would take the opportunity to run the heck away, and instead they're actually now charging forwards. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that unsurprisingly hurt. I am concerned this Kagero might have more torpedoes. Somebody please kill it before it lays eggs. There we go. Right, well now I've committed to this turn. Even 4 torpedoes might have been enough to kill me, I don't know. This is turning out to be a weird game. Ooh. Right, that was enough angling to take care of most of that. Why did you charge forwards, Richelieu? That was a weird move. That was a very odd thing to do, especially when you've got a speed boost and could have charged your way back up towards the middle cap. I don't know. Were they in a division with the sub? No? It was just a strange, questionable decision. Right, we have a bit of a battleship park in the middle there, so let's see if we can take advantage of that a bit. Am I tagged onto the right one? It's hard to tell. Actually, that takes me back to thinking about the Steam Deck, because, yeah, one of the issues with some games is they might play perfectly well, but because you've got much more limited amount of screen real estate to work with, you know, a game might run in a perfectly fine manner, technically speaking, but it might not be very playable for some or all of it, but just because, you know, you can't see what's going on. So yeah, definitely figure out which games play the nicest and which don't is going to be a process. Yeah, they've really blobbed in the middle. Having a bunch of battleships in the middle like that is weird. Not that we have the north or anything, I suppose. But yeah, I don't really quite know what's going on. I mean, we're still sort of in the holidays period, I suppose, of all the people that don't play that much just jumping in and derping around. Maybe having gotten stuff from there. Winter crates. Which, I do have to say, did treat me quite well. I think I got like 3 premium ships. None of which I was particularly excited about. I got the Aquila, the Hampshire, and there was something else. I think it was a premium destroyer I didn't already have. So, yeah. Man, the Hampshire's a weird looking beast. It's like a... I mean, it literally is the stretch limo version of the Surrey. Dear Lord, these guns are just so disappointing. They really are. Even at same tier. I mean, it's not like I've got any lower tiers to beat up, I suppose, but yeah. It's one of those ships that... I mean, how many buffs has this had? I honestly can't remember. It must have had some kind of buff at some point, but... I don't think they've ever actually touched either the reload or the shells, which are, by far the main things that are painful. That was a nasty hit. It's fine, I'm sitting on a healthy 35k. Oh. Maybe not that healthy. It'd be really nice if we could kill that low health. Yes, there we go. Oh, I'm just turning a little bit, ship. There we go. The turret's finally... Right, he is actually backing up to be a lot straighter. But, you know, it's not going to make that much difference because the guns are crap. And, yeah, I can't really turn around at this point. Ooh, that was a nice torpedoing, whoever that was. Okay. So this other Massachusetts is very close to death. North Carolina, the Lenin there. Let's just hide up and finish the heal, shall we? Oh, turrets, come on! God, it's so unresponsive. No, I keep getting spotted by that plane. Gonna get that. Try. Nope. Absolutely did not have the shell velocity for that. It feels like only in this ship could you hit in Edinburgh with 16-inch guns and get 2 bounces of the 2 hits that you managed. It's just impressively mediocre. It makes the Monarch look like an amazing ship. Right, the Erland being out the way is very useful. I think our Cossack has been utilising their advantages very well. And there's the other sub. Let's get you taken care of then, shall we, Sonny Jim?
Airborne!
Right, first slot, he actually turned away, but the second lot actually got him.
Submarine sunk.
Very nice. Right, Lenin's distracted, so...
Awaiting instructions.
I don't know what I'm looking around there. There's nothing around there except pretty blue water and... yeah. I don't really want to get to a position where the Edinburgh could just, like, pop out and lay down a bunch of torpedoes, so I guess we wait for the North Carolina to come to us. Back up a bit, I suppose. I may even break 50,000 damage. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, to be honest, no, he's actually going to die before I... No, okay, the top's going to miss. To be honest, one of the only reasons I play this is because of this skin. I did actually try watching the anime that it's from, or the newest version of that story, but I just couldn't really get into it.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
But I liked the anime, so... Okay, we're going to try and talk to North Carolina instead. I'm actually surprised those torps are... Okay, we're actually at about 35 seconds, so I was slightly... at half health, so you probably actually can get under 35 seconds if you're very low health. Come on! Ugh! Well, that was one pen at least. God, these guns are impressively terrible. Anyway. Come on, he's not going to get away on that, surely. If this turns out to be like 2 bounces, that would be impressive. Or I could just not hit at all! Excellent! God, these guns are so bad! There we go. Sweet Jesus, that was painful. I would be terribly interested to see how this performs versus other tier 8s, but, you know, if it's not at the bottom, it's going to be near the bottom, so I suppose it's not really going to be a surprise. Right, he's just fired, so I can safely angle my back turrets a bit. More bounces, hooray! Honestly, at this angle I might even be better firing HE. Might actually come to that. Because he's just angling enough to fire his guns, basically. He's not intentionally trying to give broadside. Nope. Yeah, let's try some high explosive. Oh, they're getting the joy of submarines now as well. 'Cause isn't it fun? Isn't it just the most fun? Of all the fun one can have in World of Warships, that is clearly the most fun that one can have. They're not even, like, super good high explosive shells, right? Really? Really? That must have hit a turret? One of the secondary turrets, I guess? I wasn't even... It's like, there's nothing there but superstructure and secondary turrets, and it still managed not to pen. So it must have been one of the secondary turrets. Yeah. Kansas, don't do it, kids. Just don't. I don't know why I'm doing it either. Other than I think the camo looks nice. Nope, 4 non-penetrations. Excellent. He might actually get to live. There's only 50 seconds left on this and he's almost behind that island. And the Lenin is actually reasonably well armoured. And even if no, we don't have the angle for that, do we? That bit of island's too high. No, he's going to get to live. And gets another 10k of my health into the bargain. Well, that was about as profoundly mediocre as I would have expected a Kansas game to be, I suppose. Well, at least I again got to kill a submarine. I think that was the Benson that decided to check out. Yeah. They got a bit salty and decided they weren't going to play anymore. Give the Cossack a compliment though, they were doing well. And you, I give you nothing. I give you nothing at all because you're playing a submarine. Anyway. I think that is it for now. Yeah, this is probably kind of a low energy, you know, but yeah, I live. It's another year, so hooray. I staved off death for another year. Woo. And on that note, yeah, so hopefully though, hopefully you are all having at least some kind of decent holiday. Or have had a decent holiday wherever you are, and yeah, I will catch you all next time.